We are talking to some awesome bakers. Thank you very much for being here. Stefania Halverson and Jessica Owen, thank you so much. So we can see this array of what you are doing. Founded in 2016, the Drunk Alpaca. Where does the name come from?
Well, my mother has an alpaca farm in Pennsylvania, and we were out one night having margaritas, and we were trying to come up with a name for our future food truck, and it just came out, and we thought it was funny and quirky, so we stuck with it.
Well, it got my attention. The Drunk Alpaca, and there's bakers. How did the two of you start baking together? How did this happen? How did you find each other?
We actually worked for a grocery store together. I was in management and Jessica was the cake decorator supervisor there, and we kind of just worked together. And
on your coffee breaks you said, hey, we can do this on our own, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then we became friends, and outside of work, you know, we discussed it, and that's where it kind of came from. And
so you do all baked goods. You bake at a commercial kitchen where?
In Stratford.
In Stratford.
Yes.
How hard is that?
It's actually...
Because do you have to fight for time?
You do have to work around other people sharing the kitchen with you, but because it's a large kitchen, a commercial kitchen, you can get a lot done a lot faster, so it is much more efficient, even though you have to work around.
So for right now, you guys are going to farmers markets. You're at Elm City Market. The dream one day is to have a food truck and a bricks and mortar bakery somewhere. So you started a Kickstarter, and you have $7,000 or something like that that people have given you because they're sampling your things and they're liking it. What are you envisioning 5 years from now?
Definitely having a very successful food truck. We kind of set up our business plan to start off small with the farmers markets, just so we can kind of see what the customers want, what towns work for us, so that way when we do open up a successful brick and mortar, we know exactly the clientele and where we're wanted most.
How daunting is that? Because you guys are getting up early, you're baking this, you're going to this farmer's market and this farmer's market and hoping to generate a buzz, right?
It is early hours, but I think because we like what we do, it's not as daunting as it sounds.
And it's so delicious. All right, so let's go through some of the things that are your specialties for now. And I see you've got breads, cookies, pies, muffins. Are you going to expand on this?
I think we will mostly expand on flavors, definitely for seasonality, doing different flavors throughout the holidays. Like we'll incorporate more pumpkin flavors for Thanksgiving. But for right now, we are keeping it tight with the baked goods, but also doing some celebration cakes too. So we're expanding a little bit on that.
How do folks get a hold of you? Through Facebook, mostly?
Yes, mostly through social media and then email or in person.
And you're baking from scratch, right? Are you doing it like your grandmothers did it?
Yes, just like you would have learned from your grandma. We try to stick with a more traditional way of doing it. If it was in her kitchen, it's in our kitchen. If it wasn't in hers, then we don't use it.
And you use real butter. We talked about that, which I love.
Yes.
Where does this discussion come about, what you should make, what you shouldn't make?
We definitely sit down together almost every time we bake and spend time thinking about what flavors we want to introduce for the next holiday that's coming up, or, you know, that cookie's just not doing as well as the other ones.
How does a cookie not do well?
That's true. It's very true. So maybe let's try it in the chocolate chip version or with nuts this time. We definitely talk about it every time we meet up.
Yeah.
What's your #1 seller?
That's going to be our Guinness brownies.
And that's this guy right here.
We started off with just a plain brownie, and then we expanded to a cookie and sprinkle topped one, and also we sell s'mores one too that's topped with melted marshmallows and graham crackers.
So
too.
this is #1. What's #2?
I would say our loaf cakes. That was a surprise, yeah. That's very popular at the farmers markets. We change up the seasonal flavors with whatever the different gardens that are there. We see what they have and we incorporate those. So I think it really helps having the farmers themselves there and saying that's where we used the zucchini from, is from that farm, and we got the corn from this one. So
you're doing sweet and savory things. What's the biggest surprise you guys have found as you go out to the farmers markets and people taste what you're making? What are some surprises that you didn't think were going to happen?
I don't think we thought savory and vegetable-based items would be as popular as they are. We have a candied jalapeno corn muffin and pound cake, and that turned out to be pretty successful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then you put that right on social media and come right down.
Absolutely.
How do you tell folks where you are?
We post every farmer's market or event that we're going to be on Facebook, and then we make sure to reboost it the day before, the day of, just so it reaches a wide variety of audience.
What are some mistakes you've made already? I mean, you've just gotten out there, so you're just learning, and you're the promoters and the bakers and the advertisers. What mistakes have you corrected already?
I would say the amount of product was our biggest hurdle. We really didn't know how much we would need. There were a few times we didn't have enough items. There were a few times we had way too many items. So controlling our shrink, I think, was a big hurdle for us, but we reined that in pretty fast.
Let's say somebody gave you the money for the bakery today. You're going to have your bricks and mortar. What does it look like? Do you know?
I think it looks old.
So vintage.
Vintage,
Yeah.
rustic.
Yeah, I was always thinking, like a little mom and pop type shop, not like just a warm, welcoming.
A real homey
Yes.
place, right?
Yeah.
Where maybe you have free Wi-Fi and you have acoustic guitars or something like that. So for the season, will you keep going through the winter, or do you stop at some point and actually take a vacation?
I don't think we're planning on a vacation soon. We'll go with whatever is happening for the season. Like, there will be a lot of holiday fairs and boutique craft fairs. We'll do that through the winter. And then as soon as the weather breaks just a little in the spring, we'll be right back out again.
And since I asked you what your bakery would look like, what's your truck going to look like? Is that going to be vintage too? Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
You're smiling, so you know exactly what it's
Yeah.
going to look like?
We've been definitely focusing in on like a Volkswagen bus. We're looking at the 60s, 70s type, more vintage.
With a surfboard on top, maybe, right?
Yep, with the tire on the front, with our Drunk Alpaca head, So that's what we're kind of looking for, that kind of vibe and feel.
Well, Stefania, Jessica, I wish you nothing but luck, and thank you for bringing all these goodies, and keep going so that we can visit your bakery soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
When one this in, who's this girl I spend all night kissing, and the bumper's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm not so wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Things keep locked in the grocery store of my mind. Just to save time, I'll skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, that you need me.